And we're live. Hey, and welcome. Let's go quickly live on Instagram as well. Awesome. Okay. Okay. How's everyone doing? Thanks so much for joining me yet again for this session. We have our weekly Amazon Ask Me Anything questions when we're going to target Amazon ads. Of course, those are the ones that we are going to prioritize. Okay, we're all set here on my end. So hey and welcome. My name is Noemi. I am the founder of ScaleWave. Thank you so much for joining me today for yet another Ask Me Anything Amazon ads related. And today we're going to have the same spiel. We are going to aim for 45 minutes. And during this time, we're going to answer all the Amazon ads related questions. We're going to prioritize beginner questions. And if you have an advanced question, feel free to drop it also here in the comment section. Now, really important, if you have any other question that is not necessarily ad related but business related, feel free to ask it again in the comment section. I'm going to answer if there are no Amazon ads questions coming in. But mainly giving you a short background of why am I doing these sessions, since I've been doing them for the past 7 months and I keep continuing to doing them and maybe just do a bit more of, more than Amazon Ads Basics. But the reason why I started with Amazon Ads Basics is because 6 years ago when I started selling on Amazon, I had I started from zero skills. I did not know Amazon Ads. So I had all the questions when it comes down to Amazon Ads. And there might be many brand owners who are just starting their own ads and they don't know exactly what they're doing, how should they do it, or even I see it in a worst case scenarios, they are going to give AI to just like optimize my bids, and create new campaigns, which is, I think it's one of the worst things that you can do. Never outsource your thinking, always outsource the time investment that you put in, never the thinking. Now, getting back to the session, here we are streaming on LinkedIn, YouTube, and Instagram as well. I do have 4 monitors or 4, frames in front of me. So if you see me going like this occasionally, so I'm still okay. I'm still with you. I'm just going through more monitors. All right, cool. So the sessions basically are just me. I'm going to ask out loud the question that has been submitted either previously, either right now, live in the chat, either to me directly as DM, and then I'm going to answer them. Are we good? Are we cool? Should we expect one more? Let's start, I think, right away. These sessions are all recorded. They're all going to be published on LinkedIn, YouTube, and also Instagram. So in case that you missed it, in case that I have answered your question, you have not got on the call, just letting you know that this is also recorded. Cool. All right, let's drink some yummy Earl Grey tea spiced with lactose-free milk. Right, cool. Okay, I just put in my lenses, contact lenses, and for some reason, everything is still blurry. Okay, stay with me. I'm going to make sure that everything is maximized to 125%. Cool. So the first question, is day parting worth using? Is day parting worth using in Amazon PPC ads, and when should I schedule my ads? Great question. Day parting is one of the things that personally I put off for a long time, simply because I noticed that day parting for many accounts that we were managing at the time made no sense, because one, either they did not have enough data, two, either the spend was not there, three, right now when the spend is also there, we are also considering adding day parting. Now, what day parting is? Usually you should be able to take at least 30 days worth of data, so you have a clear pattern, and during that pattern, during the time, you will see when your ads are performing best, either which day, either which hour, right? And based on that, you can schedule it out. When are you going to bid higher, lower? When are you even going to pause your ads? Now, is it worth using in Amazon ads or not? I think you should give it a try if you're spending at least $5,000 to $10,000 per month. Reason for that, what I'm noticing, and especially smaller brands that are 5-figure coming to me and they are saying, okay, why are you not providing day parting services as well? And my answer is, we could, but definitely to the amount of ads that we're running right now for you, it would make not major sense, right? When day parting is going to be really helpful is if you're spending already a lot of money, and it's going to help with optimization more rather than producing more sales. So when should you schedule your ads? Really, it depends. Do you have enough data? And then based on that data to see which days perform better, which days your ads perform better, or even like during the weekend, is it when they perform better? So that is how we would be using day parting when it comes down to Amazon ads. All right. So this is a good question. I cannot really see it. Let me quickly just zoom in. Really, I'm not sure what happens to my contact lenses. So zooming in to great questions coming from LinkedIn. I'm going to address them right away. So the first question is, hi there, hello Asma. What tips and techniques can be done for frequently returned items? There was a mistake. I added satin lined, but my beanie is handmade wool blend, and due to this word, satin linen 2 to 3, like 2/3 beanies got returned and got a badge of it. Yes, so basically, let me sum up the question. If you got the frequently returned badge, what to do next? So we did handle brands that got this badge, and unfortunately this is one of the worst situations. Why? Because whenever that badge shows up, people might not consider buying the product. So in this case, first off, you would adjust that mistake, right? So if you're saying that it was added a mistake, you are going to make sure that the mistake first off from the SEO part, so the listing, whenever someone sees the listing, and either the words like keywords, either the visuals, you're going to make sure that that is removed. Now the second thing, when you have this badge, the idea is that you have to sell more units. Either what we consider here, either adding coupons to the listing. That is something that worked well for one of the brands that we managed. For the second brand, that they also had this issue. To be honest, it did not came back the listing just because it had that badge, and even if we were selling and we were advertising, nothing really happened. So here, what I would be doing if I was you, I would see, all right, if that is one product, can you at least bundle it with other items that are variations of the item that are different colors? Because one brand where this paid off well, it was that we managed to, they have 3 different colors, black, green, and white. So what we did, we made sure that all 3 were in one listing. And in case that someone landed, say the black product had the frequently returned item badge, we were advertising the green product. So whenever someone came to our listing, they already saw the green item. And if they wanted to, buy the black, they could have. So this was a redirecting strategy of making sure that you're still going to run ads without running ads on a product that has this badge. But definitely here it's going to be a volume issue. You would have to sell more units than returned. Let me know if that helped the question. Okay. Next question. What's one PPC strategy that's working exceptionally well in 2026, but most sellers still ignore it? I love this question, and I'm getting this question so often. And always when I'm getting it, I will give you another answer because there's something new. So I think one of the things that it's a strategy, but most sellers still ignore it, is understanding a bigger view of their account. Allow me to explain. So whenever we're giving audits and it's an ad account audit, we are going to look at all right, so this is the whole account, which are the match type, what is the percentage of each match type that is being used. And then based on those, let's say it's sponsored product, sponsored brand, sponsored display. Let's say sponsored product is running 80% in the account, sponsored brands, sponsored displays, they're not even using it. Now, logically, whenever someone would say that, they're going to say, oh my gosh, this is a huge opportunity because you have not started sponsored brands, a sponsored display, and so on. when it comes down to strategy is doing less. Usually what I'm seeing is actually doing more. So if it comes down to that, we would look into, all right, so sponsored product is here. First off, are you profitable right now for your products? Because if you are not, starting sponsor brand and sponsor display ads might not even be what we are looking for to help you first off become profitable for your product. So understanding a bigger picture of, just because you have all these ad types, and if you're not using the other ad types, you should not immediately consider using the other ad types. So that is the first thing. And this is something that is working exceptionally well, and still sellers are not taking advantage of what is working most and best for your account, and then optimize that, and only afterwards double down on. Now, the second strategy, again, this is strategic thinking, and it has to do with understanding why are you doing certain actions and why you are not doing certain actions on an account. Again, allow me to explain how does this translate and what it translated into strategy. When it comes down to understanding an account, so I was telling you about the account audit. So once that we are understanding the account audit, that is just an x-ray of what is going on. But whenever we are taking over an account and we are managing, for us, it's going to be extremely important to understand what is the thinking, what is the strategy behind a campaign. Because if we don't understand that, say we are taking over an account that was managed by someone else, either the brand owner, either there was a different ad manager, we don't necessarily have to take over everything what they did, right? But in the same time, we don't have to also pause everything if something is achieving results. What we do have to do, though, is understand each of these campaigns, are they still within our strategy, right? So that is really important. And here for you, if you are the brand owner that's managing your own ads, the way how you would apply this one is going to be, okay, so just because I started this campaign 3 weeks ago, is it still part of the strategy or not? Because if it's not anymore part of, I want to achieve profitable sales for X keyword, or I want to rank for this particular keyword, I've been pushing ads for 2 weeks, it's still not ranking, it's still, I get the worst performance, should I be still keeping that campaign or not, So those are, again, strategic thinking applied to what should I do? These are not bid adjustments, these are things that if you're going to apply, it's going to help your account work exceptionally well. Why? It's because it's about control. So more you control on an ad account level, better results you get. And then the third thing is going to be, again, strategically in understanding which campaign you create, why you're creating it. And here it has to do with the 5 strategies or the 5 campaign types that we usually create. It's either a protect campaign, so you are protecting your own brand and branded keywords. Either it's a conquer campaign, you are going to conquer competitors' landscape, so either their listings, either their keywords. But here the conquer should be something that is cheaper or is something that is not super optimized and you can piggyback on their listing or off their listing. The third is going to be rank. Now, the ranking campaigns are usually the ones that we have either one keyword per campaign, either multiple keywords per one campaign with the same route, and these are all exact match campaigns. Why? Because these ones are going to consume exactly the way, or we have the most control that we can allow them to consume the way that we wish them to consume, right? So these are not auto, these are not broad, these are not phrase, these are exact matches. Now, there is no guarantee that it's going to be generated an exact match. Right now, what we're seeing for the past 6 months, even a year, synonyms are also generated. However, the purpose of these ranking campaigns is that we are going to aim for organically ranking on the first page of Amazon. Next strategy is going to be dominate. So the dominate is placement modifiers, and when are you going to use placement modifiers? You do have to have enough data, at least 10 orders for that particular campaign, to make sure that, hey, this campaign is profitable for me on each of the placements, either top of search, either rest of search, either product pages, in order for you to adjust placement modifiers. And then the last one is going to be discover, which is everything and anything that is not exact match. Now, again, you were asking what is working exceptionally well. what we see is if we are going to apply these three strategies to any account, either they are just launching, either they are already a mature product, either they want to gain additional market share, we saw success with understanding this and applying this. Let me know if that helped. You're most welcome. Okay, amazing, amazing. Love it. Love it when someone has a sense of humor and they're asking funny questions as well, or at least use emojis. So, Noemi, to be honest, when your ACAS suddenly spikes with zero warning, do you panic first or grab coffee first? Love it. And on a serious note, how do you tell if it's actual trend versus just one bad campaign day? Amazing. So, I first used to panic a lot when I saw, oh, it's such a high ACOS. Now I'm not panicking anymore. And now I am way more cognizant of it was a hypothesis. Every campaign is a hypothesis. Now, the purpose of a hypothesis is to demonstrate that something works, something does not work as we expected, right? So, from every campaign that we generate, the purpose is to generate sales. Now, those sales, are they generated profitably or not? That is the second question. And here, when you're saying ACOS suddenly spikes with zero warning, clearly what happened is that, all right, it can be those days when ACOS is just spiking and you don't know what's happening, and it might be just like random clicks going on. Still, we have to look at the data beforehand. So we always allow the 2 days of attribution window. Otherwise, it's just going to be just something that's like it's there, but then the next day, actually attribution kicked in and now it makes sense. And this is especially super useful if you're handling KDP accounts, so Kindle Direct Publishing accounts where you're selling books. There, these ACOS, like one day 100% ACOS and the next day is 30%. And yes, it is like the 100% and 30% is for the same campaign. Nothing actually changed. It's just Amazon's attribution just kicked in. But if you're asking me on a serious note, how do you tell if it's actually a trend versus just one bad campaign day? What we love to do is we love to monitor whatever works well for the account and whatever works worst for the account. And here, a clear example, if you say have multiple campaigns within an account, we like to have our top 5. Like those are the best performers that are bringing most sales. We also like to have top 5 when it comes to most spend. Why is this important? Is because sometimes what can happen is that if we're like looking at ACOS per account level, ACOS might look just like totally different based on whatever happened on a campaign level, right? So that's why we love to also see which of the campaigns first off went off the rail and like something happened, right? And then third, the way how we would be troubleshooting is we always like to see and compare the same amount of data. Example, if this is something that's happening on Friday, we love to see from last week, Monday to Wednesday, what was the outcome, and then from this week, Monday to Wednesday, what is the outcome, because that would allow the 2-day attribution window, and also that would allow, all right, we're comparing apples to apples. We are never comparing apples to oranges, meaning today is like super high ACOS and at the end of the day or even tomorrow is going to be way, way lower. That is clearly attribution. So we like to go back and then compare the same time frames, and then based on that we can see, all right, so is this continuing? We would never say, okay, one bad day, like what was going on, but we rather wait for the next day and even 2 days to define, okay, this was actually what's happening. And if something really went really wrong, let's say, let's say you had lots of clicks without conversion for one particular keyword, then we are going to track it the next day and the next day, and we'll see, is this actually a trend? Is something off? Maybe something changed in my listing, maybe something, something that we did not notice, maybe we did not edit this negative, maybe something like that happened. But usually our way of troubleshooting is always take the same amount of campaigns, take the same amount of spend, the highest spend, the lowest, You compare those and then take the same amount of days, because that is going to tell you exactly what happened in the account and then how could you fix it. Let me know if that helps. Our cat says hello, by the way. Okay, so this is a follow-up question. Thanks. If I run video to show exact details on the beanie, it will help out. I am running ads for it, so I should stop the ads and move for video ad. Hugh, our cat is here, and right now he was just let inside, so he should stay inside. Come here. So the question is, if I run video to show exact details on the beanie, it would help out. And if I'm running ads for it, so I should stop the ads and move for video ad too. Give combined discount or two products together. I have two products, kindly suggest. Yes, so this is a great idea. You can definitely do that. Video ads are going to offer way more, insight of what your product is. Now, really important, because you're suggesting here testing two strategies, running ads, and then trying the two products together. Definitely, that's a great idea. What I would suggest is do first one thing. So first, run only video ads, see how does that convert. If that converted well, then you go to the second, which is you're going to give the products together maybe. Why I'm saying you this is because it might seem that they are totally like different strategies and they should be working on their own. If you're going to apply these two, and if you will not know what caused success, right? So whenever we are testing something, we like to test only one thing. So here, what you can do is you can run the video ads, and then you're going to compare the video ads to previous week performance to see, hey, how did it perform? And once that you see that the video ads are performing well, then you can also combine discounts. That is a great idea. All right. How do I know if it's time to hire an Amazon ads agency? Great question. How do I know it's time to hire? We just had last Friday a meeting with someone. It's a brand owner. Actually, they are doing wholesale, not brand owner, sorry. And they have deals with multiple bigger brands and they're selling their products. And it was like, yes, I've been doing this. I just literally have 1 day per month, to do that. And sometimes when I'm thinking of things that I regret, I did not outsource quicker. It was, I knew how to do things. I knew how to, which are the KPIs, and I did not hire right away someone to take this over. And why I'm saying that is because sometimes if you do have the time and if you do have the passion, for example, for me, it was Amazon ads. I've done Amazon ads and I was like, no, I want to learn this for myself, because if I learned it, then I understand. But back then, my time didn't really work, but it's worth now, and then it was like, yes, I want to absorb as many things as possible, and I did had also the time. I did not worth the time. I mean, it did not worth spending the time on something else. That was a good investment on my end. Right now, if it comes down, should I learn the skills? Should I have someone else? I would have someone else. So think of it this way. It's going to be a good time if, one, you understand that, hey, Amazon ads is something that you really need for your products and it's going to help you make more sales. Two, you have also someone who you can report directly, who you can, hey, this person is going to get me. This person showed me that they already know how Amazon ads work. This person right away can see the patterns that I can. And getting back to the Friday meeting, it was interesting because, if you're doing this day in, day out, and if you're logging into an account and it's a new account, you're going to look for specific patterns and you're going to look for patterns that are positives and negatives. Now, the very first patterns that I usually look at is campaign naming, because I know this might be the least amount of thing that someone might think of, but if the campaign naming is not structured correctly, then I know clearly, okay, that is the amount of details or less amount of details that I'm going to get if I'm going to open up a campaign. Now, really important, the moment that I saw a campaign, that it was like 128 targets, immediately opened it because I know that that can be one of the best practices if applied correctly within an agency. We are doing it as discovery campaign, catch-up campaign at very low bids. Now this campaign was 128 products, most of them I almost were on, enabled, and it was an auto campaign with all the ad types going on, and yeah, there was maybe 5 keywords in negative, and there were like a lot of products were wasting money, and there was like one specific product I still remember. It was like almost 600 clicks. It got 600 clicks. Come here, you. It got 600 clicks, and it was still enabled. The moment or the date that I was checking out the account. Later on, they paused it because finally they had time for ads. But I think that should be your tell of these 600 clicks. How much spend did it generate for me? Because that generated around, in that campaign only, I think it was around $700, $800. Yes, it was for the month, but if the account spent on a monthly basis not more than $5,000, then that means that almost, what, how much was this? So $5,000, let's make an easy math. $5,000, 10% is $500, around 20% of the ads only in this campaign was bleeding there, So that's why I'm saying that sometimes when it comes down to hire out, whoever you are going to hire out, either you're going to be able to teach them the skills, either you already understand their skills and now you're expecting just performance. You should be hiring out things that you don't want to become a master of. Amazon ads is something that I personally invested at least 10,000 hours in it. So at least 3+ years, no, 6 years actually. Let's say 20,000 hours. That would be a good number. Just because I'm passionate and I want to understand, and I'm helping brands by doing so. If you want to hire that out, great. If you want to do it yourself, also great, but just consider your time investment and if it's worth it. This was a bit more longer and more in-depth answer just because I'm seeing more and more fear when it comes down to brands on should they hire agencies, should they not. They had the worst performance with agencies and they're like afraid and they don't know what to do and so on and so forth. And especially I see smaller brands facing this. Now, full like quick caveat to that, because you're a smaller brand, usually you're going to overwhelm sometimes agencies because you're going to ask all the questions that are not ad related and so on. And because of that, many agencies are just not going to prioritize your request as they would for someone who, hey, I got what you're doing, you are showing performance, I'm just leaving you at it and just do the best. Okay. So more. What's the best PPC strategy for launching a new Amazon FBA product? So I would advise you to a strategy that is going to affect your PPC, yet it's not PPC related. Hugh, come here, please, and stay here inside. Come stay next to me. You wanted to come inside? You stay inside. Yeah, come here. Say hello. By the way, this is Hugh, our cat, who is very... If I let him in, now he's in. If I let him out, now he wants in. He wants to have the door half open, half closed. That way he can stay in between. That's not how things work during a session. All right, stay here with me. Stay here, okay? So getting back to what's the best PPC strategy for launching a new Amazon FBA product? Really, the best strategy, that is PPC, is non-PPC item, which is creatives. What we are seeing on our end, whenever it comes down to ads, it's easy to bring traffic to a listing. It's hard to make it convert. So what I would advise you, if you have not yet even started ads, first to make sure that at least your product can compete, very honestly, can compete against your 5 to 10 competitors if it cannot, if your creatives are not showing all the best features of your product? Why would someone buy it? Why would someone even not buy it? Who is it not for? Those things are really important, because Amazon ads, I can give you the playbook on creating exact match campaigns and do this and do that. But Amazon ads are going to work only if creatives work properly. So Amazon ads are not going to work for you. They're going to generate what you were looking for, which is traffic, which is clicks, which is spend, but it's not going to generate sales. So I would highly advise you first, before even launching a campaign, make sure that your creatives are at least as good as your competitors. Now, when it comes down to the Amazon ad side, so I do have a ton of hair now on my cat because I just gave him a kiss. So when it comes down to the ad sites, usually we would have not more than 5 to 10 keywords that we would be targeting in exact match. Those keywords must be highly relevant to our listing. Example, if you're selling this cup, eat, drink, and be merry. So this would be like a Christmas theme cup. Usually something like this might be selling well during Christmas time, but not in January, February, or so, or before Christmas. You have to describe exactly what this product is, and you have to describe how big it is, how small it is. You have to have hand holding the product, because if you don't have this, all the ad efforts are going to be wasted. So if you're running ads the same way, you have to take all those keywords that would describe your product. Let's say this is a 19 ounces cup. If you have keywords that are relevant, and that could be a relevant keyword for your product, and especially if you have higher search volume, those are keywords that we would be using. So that would be the strategy. Exact match campaigns. Now also you can create automatic campaigns. Really, it does come down to how much budget do you have. If your budget allows $300 spent per day, I would apply all that. I would apply the exact match campaigns. I would apply for all the 10 keywords. I would see which one works, which one doesn't. I would also do the auto match. And in the auto match, what I would do, I would separate those into the 4 group types, which is close match, loose match, complements, and substitutes. Okay. Still have cat hair. Okay. Hopefully this is the last cat hair that I ate for today. Okay, great question. So it says, thanks, it's my first year in Amazon ads, brand owner, and my hand knitted beanie selling rate is very low. It's seasonal. This is the main reason. I am running catch-all campaigns, auto-phrase and broad, exact, and product targeting also. All my account goes continuously negative, although rating is 4.2. It's confusing. Could you suggest? Yes, it very well could be seasonal. Think of it this way. So I'm in Florida right now. I'm recording from Florida. I would never use your product just because there's no need for it, right? If I would have had the 4 seasons, probably during winter season, I would be considering purchasing your product. But most of the time, it can be seasonal. And because it's seasonal, that is going to, you're not going to have any traction for your product, simply because people might be considering buying it, unless they are, say, going right now for skiing and so on. They are not consider buying it. And yes, unfortunately, that is one of the things that with seasonal items, that's why it's called seasonal. When the season peaks, people are going to purchase it. So it's not your efforts when it comes down running the campaigns. It's literally seasonality. And if your rating is also high, that's also the thing that it can make me think of. It's seasonality, the reason why. Okay, next question is, do discounts help improve PPC performance and increase FBA sales? They do. It depends what type of discounts. Right now in Scaleway, we are doing discounts. When it comes down to discounts, we're doing the coupons. And coupons are something that are really helpful and are helping brands sell more. Now, really important, whenever you would offer a coupon, we never anymore just offer a coupon and see that okay, it works, and that's the reason why it works or not works. We are not going to do that. We are going to make sure that that is the reason how we can sell more. So a quick example, we are also doing, tests between, or previously did, for one of the brands, where we offered either percentage off, either dollar off, the dollar amount off, and then we were comparing the data. How did the two perform? Because just because it's percentage, people might have a harder time imagining what is the percentage versus the dollar amount. If it says $9 off, $6 off, maybe it's something that's persuading. So when it comes down to strategies, discounts, that is considered discounts, the coupons. The second thing that we're doing is brand tailored promotions, and this is something that we are seeing work day in, day out for the accounts that we're managing. Now, really important when it comes down to this strategy, we're not offering 5%, 10% discounts, we're offering 20% discount. And this is going to be available to see only for people who already previously showed interest in our product. Now, when you're going to run ads, this is not your ads type that is there all the time and it's running. This is going to be specifically shown to people who already either clicked within the listing, either purchased. So there are different categories of people who checked out your product. Those are also considered discounts in our end that are working well. Lightning deals is also something that one of the brands that we managed briefly had on, and that was their strategy to have the lightning deals on. Now, lightning deals are great when it comes down to offering them. However, we have never actually, with that brand, never had the chance to see what was their performance without the lightning deals, and they were too afraid to not have the lightning deals. So when we specifically asked them, please do not have them on right now, because we want to actually test what is the outcome, and if we have a better way to push more sales, and while keeping net profitability, allow us to do so. They did not. So when it comes down to lightning deals on that end, that is my experience. But yes, internally, discount can help improve PPC performance and increase sales. "37 minutes in, 2 more questions to go. What Amazon PPC strategy works best for long-term growth?" Love it. So this strategy that most I'm seeing like different reaction to it from the people who are ad managers in my community, is the brand protection, the branded keywords, and showing our own product on our own product, so cross-selling. That is one of the strategies that I believe that can work really, really well, and it is still for long-term growth. The reason for that is because if you're going to target more those keywords, and if your brand is going to genuinely grow, you're going to be needing to defend that. And that is also for long-term growth, because long-term, if you're no brand and no one buys your product, great. But if you're a Pampers or Huggies, if they are going to target each other, say Pampers is going to tap market share from Huggies, it's going to help them with long-term growth, because the customer acquisition value. So say I am a new mom, which I am actually, and there were two brands, right? The Pampers and Huggies. And I was like, I have no clue which one to buy, because I never bought diapers before. And then for some reason, Huggies was like, oh, this is cute. I like the image, the picture. Price-wise, it was lower than Pampers. I was like, let's give it a shot. I don't know how it's going to work. With Pampers, I did had previous experience with when I was babysitting 15 years ago. So that was my experience with the Pampers brand. But long story short, Huggies, I literally wrote Huggies in the search bar on Amazon, bought the product. I'm still user of the product, and probably until our daughter is growing enough that she does not need diapers, they got the customers for at least 2 years. So that's what I'm saying, that when it comes down to long-term growth, really protecting your branded terms, branded keywords and products is one of the long-term growth plans, especially if you're a consumable item. Now, if you're not a consumable item, might not be the and might not be for you. What else? What other strategy that can work? Let me see. Discovery campaigns will always be working, even if most, like 5 years ago, exact match was behaving differently than it does now. Now exact match can be also synonym. It can be like it's not anymore exact match. And if we're going down to sponsor brand ads, it's not exact match at all. So that is something that I'm seeing right now. It's not working as expected. So lots of campaigns that we're creating actually are auto campaigns that are hyper controlled. By hyper control, I mean they are very segmented. We're not targeting all the match types. We're targeting only the one. We are targeting very heavily when it comes down to negative, exact match, negative. So we are doing our research before even starting the campaign. And with that strategy, actually, the auto campaigns right now are working really well and can also work for long-term growth. We also handle accounts that we've managed for the past 3 years, 4 years. Still, few auto campaigns that we had on, they're still performing great. Right, next question is which Amazon PPC blogs are actually worth following to stay up to date? I'm not much a reader of blogs. I love to watch YouTube channels. So YouTube channels is one of the things that I've been watching. That's how I'm learning. That's how I'm experimenting. That's how I'm testing on things. One, I really love Elizabeth Green. To be honest, she is someone that I look up to. I love their strategy. What else? Sophie Society. I'm just like throwing out competitor names, but they have good content, and if you're into, hey, you want to do it yourself and you don't even think of hiring this out, I do believe that you should be learning from the best. Again, my content, if you're here, thank you, appreciate you. I created like at least 400 videos, small tidbits or longer format. Go through it, because it's the content that I would be genuinely listening to, implementing, and that's what I'm sharing as well. So these three are really good. Yeah, let's keep it at these three. This is more than enough for you, honestly. Right. Yeah, so again, this is follow up to the Binny's question. By the way, I'm happy that the answers you find the answers helpful and you're asking your questions. So my beanies are getting in old inventory. Yes. So the first symptom that we are seeing whenever there is products that are not selling out, either because of seasonality, either because there's no interest, either because it might be the frequently returned item badge, is that it's going to get into old inventory. Now we do have a very aggressive take here. So, because you're asking, so I should go for discounts to clear it, and for seasonal product, when should next inventory come in? Okay, so you have multiple questions. The first one is getting stuck in old inventory. Should you go for discount to clear it? Yes, we are doing this strategy, and basically this is going to be even up to, we are testing coupons. We're testing 20%. 50% coupons even. Yes, I said 50%. What you need is clear out that inventory unless you want to send it back to yourself, and if you have other means of selling it and you have a place where to keep inventory, so warehouse, for example, or maybe your own home where you can keep these products and sell it next season, definitely that's something that you can do. But if discount is an option, what we do is we even offer up to 50% discount and then see. And the way how we are using discounts, because this is really important, is when it comes down to testing, you can be first using a 20% discount and then give it maybe even a week to see how it's going to perform. Now, if it's not performing, by not performing, say you have a campaign budget here, because again, these discounts, the coupons have a campaign budget, right? Say you have a budget of $200, $300, $500 max. See how quickly does that budget clears out, because that suggests how quickly someone would buy your product. If you're adding it to a 20% coupon, let's say $500 per week, is this going to be consumed? If it's not consumed, it means that the coupon is not high enough. So then, only then, we would be increasing the coupon based on that, right? Yeah, but let me know if that helped. And then your next question is, for seasonal product, when should next inventory come to get ready for winter season? Ideally, for seasonal product, really depends on how quick does your product get into Amazon. Well, it really depends. You should be knowing when people are buying, at least. The way how you would do this is you can look up your competitors and then maybe look a quick search on, do a quick search, maybe Helium 10 or even Kipa, on how do they, like when is their seasonality peak, because usually most of the times you should have the item in like at least a month or even a month and a half before the season hits, so people can buy even 2 months, honestly, because I am more on the prepared side. So if I'm going somewhere in December and it's like it's cold season and I want to buy a beanie, I'm considering buying that, earlier. So the idea is that it's better to have it quicker in and then advertising than not having it in and then trying to sell it out. Let me know if that helps. All right. 46 minutes. Thanks so much for joining, everyone. The last question, it's interesting and it's very basic, but I think it's really important. What does Amazon PPC cover, and what can I realistically help? What it can realistically help me achieve? Getting back to my previous conversation with this brand owner last week, they were saying that they sent in FBA some units and then the product is not selling. And my first question was, are you actively advertising the product to see now that it's FBA if it's going to sell through? And their answer was no. And I'm not telling that as a they should have known better, but I'm saying it that if you're not going to use ads for the purpose of advertising the product, but if you're going to, just $10, $20 here and there, and then hope for the best, it's not going to work, right? So whenever it comes down to us, for example, to running advertising and Amazon ads to grow brands, it really comes down to, okay, so are you willing to invest at least $100 per day, which is roughly 3,000 per month at least, so we can move the product and we can get you to achieve your goals. Because if you're not, unfortunately, just prices are really like CPC cost is really high, no matter which category you are in. But what it can realistically help you achieve, again, talking to another brand who are selling right now successfully on their Shopify, thinking of coming to Amazon, selling their product, and their worry was, hey, I have a 50% profit margin on my Shopify, but on Amazon I might have a 30%. Why should I move to Shopify? And legit question, why should I move from Shopify? Legit question. I should not move from Shopify, but I would add an additional marketplace, an additional channel, which is Amazon, in order to create more volume, because at the end, yes, your profit might be a bit less on Amazon in this scenario, but you are owning Amazon's, traffic. You can have people checking out your product that previously would have never, So that's why I'm saying that it's a great place still to advertise your product and grow profitably if you're managing your ads with the mind of, I don't want to boost revenue, I want to boost net profitability. All right, that being said, thanks so much for watching. Again, I'm Noemi, founder of ScaleWave. If you found value in this video, which I certainly hope, please feel free to hit the like button. And also, if you're right now a brand owner struggling with all these questions, thinking, should I outsource this? Should I keep this in-house? Should I, what's next for me? I do want to grow my brand. Feel free to book a quick strategy call with me. It's going to be a quick audit. I'm going to take a look at what is going on right now in your ad account. So build on the reps, that we've done for the past 6 years. I can clearly see, hey, Yes, you can do this, you cannot do this. That's something that you can duplicate. That's something that you should not even be thinking of. If you found value, again, feel free to book the call and also hit the like button. Thanks so much. Take care, guys. And I see that someone also scheduled the call. Brilliant. All right. See you when we have scheduled the call. Take care. Have a good one. And see you next week when I will be back next Monday at 1 p.m. EDT. Take care. Bye.